All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, who teach very well, while learn this truth from, and salutation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And also, Shalom to all the men, women, and children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And today, man, just basically getting on the upcoming famines, because he even tells us that in the book of Revelation, the third chapter, around the 10th verse, how this hour of temptation will be tried upon the whole world, man. And a part of that, you getting tempted, through outward circumstances, it's a famine, because through the famine, it's a part of Esau, ordo ab chaos, the order out of chaos. When this guy actually going to put you in a desperate mindset so you can basically make a desperate decision, and you can see this little girl right here whining, and she's not whining like an American child because you took away the iPad, or she wanted to eat McDonald's instead. No, man, she's whining because she's hungry. And you can see how bad it's getting over there. Just imagine how it's going to be here in the West. So I'm going to play a little bit of the video, and I'm going to get the scriptures. Me and brothers, it's pertinent brothers can read the subtitles. And you can see, she's frantic because this little one is drinking all the water, man. So once he drank the water, she started panicking because again, it's going to be in few amounts. Go play a little bit of the video. Now, this is nothing new. Again, throughout wars, they always have, you know, fruit kitchens and things like that. But just imagine how it's going to be up here in the West. People are used to eating the chemicals of Chick-fil-A. People are used to eating the chemicals of KFC. And once these things get turned off, again, people are going to be desperate, to have that fulfilling stomach again. But again, this is the way that Yahweh Shema Shah will humble these people, man, especially here in the Western Hemisphere. Don't just think because it's in Palestine and Gaza that it can't come towards you. And that's the simple fact of these Americans don't think they can be touched just because you have a water barrier. No, man. Best believe that this man-made famine is coming your way too. And it's going to be what? To humble you. Let's go right here. This is the book of Deuteronomy 8 and verse 3. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee manna, it's like he fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know. The point it says where he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger. So again, when you hungry, you can't stunt, you know. For lack of better words, you have to have your head low. And ultimately, you have to be in a begging state. That's how Israel was right here. You know, that's why the Lord said He fed them with manna, which they knew was not, neither did their fathers know, that thou might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai doth man live. And for lack of better words, these precepts is going to keep us stable in these dangerous times. But for these other folks, for the lack of better words, they're going to want to eat. But again, Yahweh Shema Shai already have it set up for the elect to be preserved, in the midst of this famine. You know why? Because we understand the scriptures. Let's get another one. This is the book of Job 5, and I'm going to jump down to verse 19. It says he would deliver thee in six troubles. And that's how you know that the six troubles is really the troubles that you're going to go through in the time of Jacob's trouble. It says in the seventh there shall no evil touch thee. And that seven is talking about the missiles. In famine, He shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. So how will the Lord redeem you from death in the midst of the famine? There is written about in the book of Isaiah how my servant shall eat and ye shall be hungry, man. My servant shall drink and ye shall be thirsty. So ultimately, it's going to be a reward for those who believe and trust on Yahweh Hashem Shai. But for the others, for the lack of better words, they're going to be caught out there, you know? And again, this is why these things happen over here in the Middle East and to the kids and everything, because ultimately they sin against the Lord. You know, let's get a story real quick because a famine that's happening on the world is nothing new. No, it's not nothing new. It's just, we've been living in the West for so long. People are used to just going to restaurants. People are used to just going to the supermarket anytime they want. They never really understood, like, getting the food, out the mud, for the lack of better words, man. Waiting into harvest, and for the lack of better words, you measuring out your food until the next harvest. These Americans is not used to it. But again, imagine these folks that was raised in a third world country, look at their reaction to the famine. So just imagine the reaction for the people who always been here, who've always had the luxury to eat, who never had to worry about harvest time, man. You know, who never had to really want for nothing here in this society. So when these harsh times come, again, it's going to be a very sense of desperate times and calls for desperate measures. It's either going to be you're going to take the chip, you're going to eat anything and everything, or you're going to wait on the Lord, man. And the latter option is the one that's going to lead to your salvation. But let's get this real quick in the book of 2 Kings 6:25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, unto a head, unto an ass head was sold for 80 of silver, and the fourth part of a calf of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So it was so bad out there that they was eating animals, man, and eating the dung of doves. And it just shows you how desperate that they got. Because it says for 80 pieces of silver, and for the lack of better words, for a score, it's like 60 pieces of silver, man. And with silver, like with $40 an ounce, and you do the math, But at the same time, it just shows you how bad it was that people was eating donkeys and shit, because that was the only thing there was to eat. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help, my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord Yahweh Shemashah doth not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Yes. So if the Lord can't help you, what can I do? Going back into my service shall I eat, man. And ye shall be hungry, because it's going to be certain people who's going to be left out there in a time when there's nothing to eat, man. Because best believe while you're not eating, the raccoons, they eat your trash. They're going to be hungry. And it's a point. I've recently seen how it was a certain level of squirrels. They basically turned into carnivores, man. I don't know if it's because of a lack of food, and I don't know if it's a new type of squirrel, but you can always blame Esau for these things. Continuing on, though, it says, out of the barn floor or out of the wine press. And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, the woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. And this is the desperation. Again, you can see all these kids. Let me go to the first one. You can see all these kids, man. Yeah, that's a good one right here. You can see all these kids. So just imagine, man, when the soup kitchen closed down. And again, this is a third world country. And you can see the buildings getting knocked down and the rubbish and rubble everywhere. And you can see how their reaction is going to be. Imagine how it's going to be over here in the West. But again, look at all these kids. Women and children is really going to be the first ones to go. Let's go back. It says, so we bore my son and did eat him. And that's cannibalism. That's against the law. It's against your Yahweh Shai. And ultimately, your body is not going to react healthy to that. It says, and I said unto her, On the next day give thy son that we may eat him, and she hath hid her son. And it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman, he rent his clothes and passed by the wall, and the people looked, and he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. And the reason why he was mourning because it was a sad thing to see. Israel, once a comely and delicate woman, and all of a sudden you've been beaten so low, you've been downtrodden so much. Now you going into eating your damn babies, man. And again, best believe that this spirit is coming back up. People being desperate and people being hungry, and also the people are not having the answers and not knowing what to do. When these bad times come. That's why you have to trust in your how about Shema Havashai, man. Job 5, the fifth chapter, the book of Isaiah, Revelation, the third chapter, and around the 10th verse, because that has kept the word of my patience. I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, man. So the Lord is going to keep us from wicked thoughts like this entering into our mind and ultimately these wicked actions that these people is going to commit. Because we know the story, we have the understanding why this is happening, man. And that's the reason why people are going to panic because they don't know why. The reason why is because America is nothing but a gluttonous place, man. You know, they don't take anything serious, and ultimately they don't respect the Most High. And so this is why terrible plagues is coming upon this place. You know, let's go to get another one. Lamentations 4, jumping down to verse 9, it says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field. And this is why people are going to be in this estate, man. The estate of eating everything they can get their hands on, whether it be rats, squirrels, roaches, and even damn humans, pets, clothes, belts, shoes, all these things is going to be free game when there's no food around. So yeah, I can much just pray this video was edifying and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to my apostle, elders, great millstone, and Shalom.